So thanks for having us here today, lads. So we're David and Lottie Russell. I suppose made me feel old there a while ago, dealing with the lads here since 2016. So boys, you might just give us a quick rundown, I suppose, of the background of the farm. Lottie, you're here a few years, your family. Roughly how long are you here?
We're here, so David is a fifth generation here now in this farm here. Fifth.
Fifth generation, yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So we can't really talk without having this massive implement behind us here anyway. So the rotary parlour, you made big changes, David. You came home farming and you'd expanded a bit.
I was out in New Zealand there in 2014 and 15, and I came home then, and I suppose at the time we were working on a farm and there was 800 cows and there was 3 people on the farm. And I couldn't understand how 3 people could run a farm of this size. And we were able to be finished in the evening at 4 or 5 o'clock. And I said, the afternoon manager used to always have a bit of crack with us, and he'd often say, Jesus, like, how are you busy? Like, you've 100 cows. Like,
what you do for a living. Yeah,
exactly. He thought out there that'd be only a hobby farm.
Yeah.
And so we were, at the time, we were winter milking, and we were kind of bringing the cattle to 2 years. So when I came home, it was about 2015, we kind of put a plan in place and said, at the time the quotas were going, dairy was the thing. It was the hot topic at the time. So we actually decided then to change then, that all the different systems were tying up an awful lot of the time, and to kind of focus on the main thing that makes us money, the main driver. So we said we'd expand in the cows. So we went from about 100 to 300 cows.
Yes.
So we're milking about 320 there at the moment now, how many years on. So in 2016, a piece of land came up around us. So that made the milking platform even bigger. We had first decided to go to 200, and when the next piece of land came up, we decided to milk 300 cows.
Yeah.
So there was a change of thought on what we were going to put in and how we were going to access all this land, because we're actually split by the main road.
The road outside, yeah.
So over a 3-year period, we purchased the farm in 2016. In 2017, we put the underpass and accommodation for all the cows in, and the following year then we decided to go for the rotary parlour, and we started digging the tanks and getting ready. And in 2019, the June bank holiday, I'll remember it.
Yeah.
I'll never forget it, because at the time we had an 8 double up parlour, and milking was 7 or 8 hours a day, and this has probably transformed our life. It's unbelievable the change it makes in your day to day, and everything else. Like, it's more than just your farm, and it's everything else that's available to your life.
It's just like so many hours in the day if you're standing milking cows for the day. There's only so much you can get done. But what size is it? Delaval parlour here?
So it's a Delaval. It's a 50 unit.
50 unit.
Delaval parlour. It's a relatively actually basic parlour. There's not actually much bells and whistles bar the basics, but it's brought the milking time down, milk and wash up to maybe in, I suppose, an hour, 15, hour and a half.
Brilliant,
So it's a life changer.
That's life, yeah.
So
I will say you have a lot of cows, obviously, to calve down the spring there. It's a busy time of year.
Yeah.
So what sort of labour do you have on farm?
So on the farm then, it's just the 2 of us and the student in the spring. That's the way we work it. We look at the thing as, we don't mind working hard for our harvest is February, March, April and May, and we have no issue with working all the days during them and trying to keep the thing organised, because that's to make the most money. That's the way I'd view it, that they're our harvest and we have to work for them.
Yes.
But once that period finishes, then like we only maybe work 1 weekend a month, and we focus purely on the cows and no tractor work like that. Everything else is contracted out.
Yeah.
So once the milking is done...
a second, go back there now a second, because that sounds like you're back to your New Zealand man telling you have an easy life. So 1 weekend a month for the summer. So what way do you work that out?
So we have a student that'd be with us usually during the spring, and he'd cover 2 weekends in the month, and then I'd cover 1 and my father would cover 1.
Yeah.
So that allows us to have a weekend.
Yes.
And like, a lot of time you feel guilty sometimes
But
when
it
you come
doesn't-
into these things and you don't often understand, because you're so used to saying, I have to be working
Yeah,
this
yeah,
weekend.
yeah,
Why
yeah,
am I
yeah.
off? And
Yeah.
I haven't something planned, or I'm
Yeah.
not going somewhere. But
I know, but
you need a kind of a change, and you'll do in life what you prioritise. That's why I look at it. If you
Yeah.
don't prioritise time off, you'll never have it.
no. And sure,
So-
what you've done a pile of cycling for charity work.
Yeah, so I do an awful lot of cycling. I'm a fairly competitive cyclist, Ironman, triathlete, and
Yeah. And there's
I'm always on to go, unfortunately. I don't really have time off, I just do different things.
That's just to go back to that, and the getting the students will say, you're saying you've been lucky. You can't always be lucky in life. There's a bit built around it too. But I suppose the parlour's key to that as well.
You spend a lot of time with them too.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? When you're there, you're with them, and it's not a slog and is left on its own. Like, we milk with them, so they're lucky, but we're always there. Do you know what I mean? We don't mind doing it. We're
Yeah.
around it to milk. Do you know what I mean?
But to get them to stay on like that though,
Yeah.
over the course, because they've, do you know, geez, there's no shock to anyone. They've plenty other options, like.
Yeah, they
Do you
do.
know, there's plenty of people look from. So, do you know, it must be a good environment for them to come into to work in.
Yeah. And then we see, I suppose, there's father and son, and
Yeah.
they do the best measure, and they just see
Yeah.
both sides.
Yeah.
I suppose
It's a bit of crack here too, like, do you know what I
has
mean?
to
It's
be,
not serious. Do you know, you can't have it like that. God,
No.
kill me,
They
no.
they wouldn't come back for it if you asked them, no matter what you offer, they
Yeah,
wouldn't.
no matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's a bit of crack, like, no matter. It's too serious. And killing everything and the figure and everything has to be under. The way I look at it, if things are 80%, it's still an A.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? If
yeah.
you get it that much right, I'm happy enough with that. Because even I'm not
And
that
I was lucky
finicky.
if I got 40, I was happy.
Yeah.
That's something.
That's the way
No,
I
but
look at it.
I think that's an important point at the same time about the Rotary and the parlours and people saying, "Oh, geez, all these fancy things." But
Yeah.
if you want to get the staff to come and work,
You need a nice environment.
you have to good environment, good
Yeah.
facilities, good environment. Like you've the drafting gate outside as well.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, great. For sure.
Yeah, it's grand.
We have the colours for the cows.
The collars for them as well. And do you do the AI yourselves, or do you get someone in?
We do summers, and we nearly get 90% of it in now.
Yeah. No, it is a good job. The big backing gate on the back of the collecting yard as well. Just the scraper on that? No.
No, we've a flood wash there.
A flood wash on
Actually,
it.
I haven't
Yeah.
used it, opened it up yet.
Okay.
But like, that's a time saver now. Oh yeah, I'll show you it there now.
You try to just see
We
if you
only
want
scrape
to.
the yard about once every 5 or 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Scrape the yard once every 5 or 6 weeks.
That's all. That's all we do now. It's only all dirty water being recycled.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Used and used again. It's on a tank switch in it. It comes up from the water, the tank below, up into a small tank there.
Yeah.
You know, for enough then to do the flow wash.
So over here at this side you've the vet deck.
Yeah.
Good job to have it in.
Yeah, that's kind of nearly our main. The crush really has become redundant, more or less, over the years, because tail painting, scanning, metro checking, dosing, all injecting, isn't it? Vaccinations is
yeah.
all done from the vet deck. So that's has been a fierce labour saving, because jobs are done while the milking is just going on as part of the daily routine, and it's not a job to do after you do the milking.
line
So
up after,
that was probably the best thing we put in. Like, there was a lot of work out here in the outside yard, but probably is not used as much as you'd think. Maybe TV testing and stuff like that.
So you've the drafter here, and do you use the herringbone crush or the other crush over then, we'd say, for AI cows?
Mostly, all the AI nearly is done in the straight crush. The herringbone crush was nearly a waste, because, tell you the honest truth, the cows coming off Rotary aren't used to being baled up like a herringbone anymore, so it's actually of no benefit really, to tell you the honest truth. If I had to go again, I'd probably put a double straight crush in that you could be loading while the other one is in. And probably one mistake we made when we were doing even the straight crush is the straight crush is too long.
Too long?
Too long. There's too much. There needs to be a gate in the middle that pressure builds up too much.
Okay,
It's a thing you really want to watch out for, especially with a flood wash yard that's falling away. They have constant want to go
To the cow in front.
To the cow in front.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a.
It doesn't look a long. It doesn't look a long crush. That's interesting.
It does, yeah, but you'll fit 14 or 15
cows into it,
yeah, if you wanted to, and like they will, as the cows are going out of the milking parlour, they think they're so inbuilt into their mind that they're actually going out that they stay pushing. So that's one thing. If I was going again, I might go with 2 even shorter crushes or something like that.
Yeah, as you said, a gate in the middle again.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, very good. No, lovely setup in fairness. We say, yeah, you get during the winter you feed the cows here yourselves, you don't get a contractor in to feed them?
No, we do the feeding, sure. Once we're dried off, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
Sure, just we dry off there at the start of December. We get all the lads from the town, all my buddies, they come out and 5 or 6 of them and we dry them all off to one day and we go to the pub that night and drink a of pints. That's what we do after every year. It's actually, honest to God, it's kind of become a ritual now that everyone comes out for the drying off of our cows every year. So once that's done, we do all the feeding ourselves. We feed out, we have one loader, we've no diet feeder or anything like that. We have a loader with a shear grab, it takes over a ton of silage and we leave it in the blocks and we feed every 3 days.
Right.
That's the way we work.
3 days,
Yeah, it's because we had just the diet feeder wouldn't be for me now. It just would take too much time. So that's kind of the way we work the winter then, and we only have the cows here and the heifers then come back from the contract rear then the 1st of January usually.
Okay, and do you keep them for the first winter? We'd say you keep the calves and you keep them for the first summer's grazing. What stage do you send them to the contract rear?
Yeah, so we actually keep the calves for the first year, and when the heifers come back in January, we swap.
Okay.
So he comes with the heifers ready to calf, and we give him the year-olds, more or less, kind of, and we swap over.
So yeah, they go. So yeah, the bulling heifer, we'll call her at that stage, or weaning goes, and you get back an animal ready to calf.
Ready to calf, on the point to calf, more or less.
We do it all in one day. Like the contractor brings back the in-calf heifers, say the first week of January, and he takes, say, this year's calves
away then. Yeah.
We keep them until, say, the 1st of January.
Brilliant.
roughly.
Yeah. So
they this year's calves. Like.
yes. So like that again, from a labour point of view, you've the cows and just the calves. Then we'd say, but once the spring is over and the calves are weaned, there's not as much work in them at that stage, I suppose, for the first year.
Once the milking is done in the morning and you have the calves fed, you have a lot of the day's work done. After the breeding and all that stuff. Do you know what I mean? From your kind of June on, it gets easy here.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And you need a break. Do you know what I mean? You've worked hard for a number of months, and once the cows go in November, kind of the whole way till nearly June, it's a busy time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's actually not much time off, no matter how many guys. You kind of there's an element of kind of you have to be kind of around a lot of them times, and during the calf and then start of breeding. Do you know what I mean? That's your most important time, like so.
Yes.
From June on, that's our holidays. Our harvest is over. We
don't
work too hard after that.
I know, but as a lot of fellas say, like the breeding is busier than the calf.
Yeah, it has become it.
Yeah,
because they will calf. They won't go and calf themselves.
That's it. You have to get them in calf, but they will calve themselves. That's going to happen.
Whether you like it or not.
Yeah, they're going to calve. Yeah. So, no, that's perfect. Yeah, no, it is interesting just to see the different way of approaching things, like, you know. So, but that's what works best for you.
Yeah, for us. Yeah.
Yeah. Very good.